Coach, hey, thanks for joining me today on this SimpleCoach interview. I just checked earlier. The last time we spoke was January of 2025. So it has been a hot minute or three.
Okay.
But yeah, hey, thanks for taking the time. I do appreciate it. Coach K at Central was like, I'll get you coaches. I was like, oh, well, I gotta reach out to Coach Reinert, and so here we are. But thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Kobe.
Yeah,
We're actually the very last game of the regular season this year.
yeah. I noticed
so
that.
We've got a whole season to go until we match up.
So I mean, we could like literally start just talking about him if you'd like, and just
Yeah. Okay.
No, what a great guy. What a great guy.
Yeah.
Really in it too for the right reasons, like just such a great guy. Anyhow, hey, it's been a while, so tell me, what have you been up to? I am curious. I know it's been some distance, and we're 2 weeks away from preseason.
Yeah.
I'd love to get your sense as to how your season went last year.
Yeah. You're right. It has been a little bit. I needed some space from last year's season. We actually did our end of the year banquet later than normal, and I just felt like I needed more time to process than normal. And so we had an okay year. We were 11-6-2. We finished third in our conference. And I think we had higher aspirations than that, but at the end, but also not a bad year. And so it took time to process that. We were coming off, we had graduated 3 COVID holdovers. 2 were 5th years, 1 a 6th year. 2 of them were conference MVPs. 1 was a 3-time All-American, and then also 3 other seniors that were starters, long-term starters. And so we knew we'd be a different group. I thought we'd put it together a little sooner than we did. And by the end of the year, I thought we were playing some really good soccer. We dropped a 1-0 result in the semifinal to our eventual conference champion. And I don't think there's anything to feel terrible about that.
Yeah.
We were playing good soccer at the end of the year. We just weren't strong enough early in the year to be an at-large bid team. And it took some grappling with that, I think, on our coaching staff and our upperclassmen, especially our seniors that had just been to back-to-back tournaments.
Yeah.
And to know that we were one path. We had a one path way in this year, and not 2 roads to the dance.
Yeah. What do you think that early slow start was attributed to?
I think several things. We needed to figure out how to score goals. Our 3-time All-American was a forward, and she was good for 20 a year. And so to replace a goal a game meant some others needed to step up. And I also just thought we were a strange group of soccer players last year, that we were talented, but we didn't totally fit stylistically. And so it took us as a staff a little bit to figure out stylistically how do we fit. We had a whole bunch of girls that I think were attacking mids. And we played with 2 of them. Yeah. And then we had about 3 others that were playing forward and just kind of out of position.
Yeah.
And so it's not like they were bad attacking players. It's just it wasn't their natural spots.
Yeah.
And so I think we had to learn and grow through that. And then we were young in the back. We started for most of the year. We started 2 freshmen and a sophomore in her first time starting as 3 of our back 4.
Wow.
And so we were just learning. Not anything majorly negative. We were just learning.
Yeah. That's interesting. It's funny you say. I guess I was actually having a conversation with somebody the other day where the rage for the longest time was every kid wants to be a midfielder, like the attacking midfielder.
Yeah.
And so every team I've watched or whatever, you can just tell like natural midfielders in there, and they're all being played out of place because you need obviously to fill in other holes.
Right.
Right. You're like, well, you're big, so you can go in the back, and you're fast, so you're going to be a winger. but that's I think it's a commentary just on just overall just sort of where kids are, where the glamour has been for the longest time is at attacking mid. So
Yeah, yeah.
the, was there anything that you sort of said you start out slow and then it sort of kicked into gear? Was there anything that sort of you thought was that turning point?
It's starting to be a little bit. Now, as you know, I've got taped up in front of me as our season heading into the fall, in that pattern. So I'm trying to think back. I thought we scheduled really challenging, and I don't.
You did. I will say that. You
Yeah.
did.
Um, you know, the Carleton coach just reached out to me about scheduling again for seasons going forward. So we're entering our fourth cycle together, and we're 1-1-1 against them. But last year she got the best of us. They beat us 3-0 at home, and lacrosse we had just beaten the national tournament, and I thought they would maybe drop off a bit because they graduated like their whole starting group, and they beat us by 5. They didn't miss a beat. They were very good this last year, and we were different, and so we are playing the same caliber of schedule, probably maybe even tougher than we had been. It's a schedule we'd put together prior to NPI. And so we could play those caliber opponents, and it didn't crush you from an MPI standpoint in the same way it does now.
Yeah.
But we had a really tough week there playing the WIAC schools. I believe the first one was Platteville here. We get a goal called back for being offside. Our forward beat their goalkeeper.
Yep.
Lays it off to a teammate instead of just finishing herself.
Oh my Lord! Yeah.
They go down and score from that free kick 10 seconds later. And then we're just kind of in our emotions as a team, maybe a little bit emotionally immature as a group. We give up a second goal within 2 or 3 minutes, and then we just get clawed back. So that was a bummer because I think we felt like we were the better team on that day and drop a 2-0 result.
Yeah.
Then we go lose big to lacrosse, and then we tie with Eau Claire 0-0 before coming home from Wisconsin. And you're like, man, that was a tough 3-game stretch that and then I thought something happened. We kind of got towards the middle of started into conference, and it was a clean slate. We just needed a clean slate.
Yeah.
And then we started to play okay.
So it's interesting. Do you now rethink your schedule because of MPI? Because like you said,
totally.
Like you said, it's crushing now. Not crushing, but to lose. Like
a loss is crushing.
Like you lose significant leeway that you had.
Yeah, it is really interesting. And as I look at our schedule this next year, our third game is Wash U. And
that's going to be easy.
Like I'm not even really. We're not watching a lot of film on Wash U right now. I'm trying to make sure we do perform well in our first 2 games. Because the girls are excited to play the number 1 team in the country. And I know that Grinnell that we play Friday before Sunday is tough. Yeah. So I'm worried about that being a trap game. But so if I look at Wash U and hopefully we play well, but I mean they don't lose a lot, and so if we drop that one, man, I don't know, one other loss and one other tie, and then you're probably out of at-large bid contention. Yeah. And so that's a bummer. I don't know. We had scheduled them pre-MPI as well because they have a girl on their roster that's a senior now, and she's from Des Moines. And so kudos to Conlon. He wants to come up and play near her hometown. That's awesome. And but I don't know that it's a game that we should schedule now MPI wise because our chances of winning that are low. And if that's one of our 2, 1 or 2 losses, it puts a lot of stress on every other match.
Well, right, like that weekend, that whole like Grinnell Wash U, that could be that like that could determine your path, right? Like it's like okay, we can go for an at-large that sort of might change dynamics a little bit and how you're going to approach the season, or it's like we have to win the conference, We have to win the conference tournament.
Yeah, and there's the opportunity. You know, if
Yeah.
you were to beat them,
Yeah,
you have
sure.
to, you know, then
Sure.
they're probably going to finish with the top 5 ranking.
Yeah.
And you're going to hold on to that MPI result all year.
Yeah.
And so there's opportunity there, certainly.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty dramatic risk that I just don't think anybody that puts them on their schedule should take on.
Yeah.
You know, now nobody wants, and for their standpoint, got to be really tough for them to get games.
Oh, totally. 2 years winning.
Yes.
Like, no,
Yes.
you know, people are, even if you're good, even if you are one of the top 10 in the country, like, do you really want to play
wants
them?
to play.
Right.
Nobody wants to play you.
Like
unless you can fill your whole schedule that way.
Yeah.
Then you could win enough of those games, and we're just geographically not close enough to play that many teams of a similar caliber.
Yeah. You guys, I think I talked to Kobe about it too. Like, you know, you're in a great spot, but you're also in a tough spot, right? Just from the scheduling standpoint, you don't have all of the plethora of schools that up here in the Northeast where you could drive 45 minutes and you could hit 3 different teams of 3 different caliber levels, right? And I think that's
Chicago is 6 hours.
Yeah.
And, I mean, if you were to get into Chicago, you can play Chicago and Illinois Tech and Lake Forest, and but that's 6 hours.
Yeah. Well, that's a big commitment. Like you can't.
You can do that once or twice.
Yeah, you can't do that multiple times, and you can't do that necessarily during the week, or you don't necessarily want to do that. Otherwise, you basically crush yourself for the weekend too, right? Like, I mean, we might as well just go there. Like your sense is sort of how you look at your schedule now, based on your previous performance, what you got coming in.
Yeah.
Sort of how are you looking at your schedule? What's your confidence level? What are you envisioning?
Yeah, I think we have a tough schedule again. I don't think. WashU's better than anybody we played last year, but I think the overall caliber of team we play is maybe more fitting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a group that I think in 8 or so games we probably are slight favorites. In another probably 4 or 5 games, I think it's maybe a toss up, and then maybe 2-ish games we're probably a slight underdog or a heavy underdog to WashU. But I think Carleton, I think really highly of Carleton.
Mm-hmm.
They were I think in a round of 8 team last year, but I do think we can play them well.
This is a loaded question because then it becomes dartboard material. What's your What's your take on the American Rivers Conference as you're going into it this year, based on sort of what you know the other programs, who's adding, who's losing?
I don't. We lose Luther.
That's true.
Member, which is, you know, that's tough. They were a founding member, so like 112 years they've been in our league. And I always, you know, we had a good run against Luther recently, but I'd always thought that they were a tough game. For our league, a lot of teams struggled with them. We just happened to play well against them. But them leaving changed the dynamic. We take a bye week out for everybody, and it drops all of our games back. We don't play conference until we open on October 7th for conference.
That's late.
So we just have a long.
That's late. I mean, late.
Very, very late.
Yeah.
So I don't know totally, because we have a long time to prepare for those opponents. And like I said, Central. We play them October 27th, last game of the regular season. Maybe 3 of the top teams in our league are our last 3 games, in Loras, UD, and Central. And so that week will be really critical. For that 6 days, 21st, 24th, 27th will be really critical for how our conference season goes.
Yeah.
I hope we're in the conversation for a championship, or at least a bye in the postseason. I think that bye in the conference tournament is really important. Our semifinals were, I know you talked to Kobe about that. Our semifinal matches were 1-0 our way, and I think UD beat Central 2-0 or 1-0. And so if you can get rest before that game, it gives you really a chance to get into the final.
Yeah. I almost think that's in a lot of respects, that's kind of key. If that's your avenue of pursuit, like you that week off, or those 5 days off, that bye matters. I mean, just physically and mentally for the kids at that time of year, I got to believe it's like, oh, good, we don't have to worry until next Saturday or whatever the case may be.
The one year we got in from the quarterfinal, so we finished third and then won the quarterfinal, and then we went up and played Warburg, but they were a top 25 team, and we beat a top 25 team in the semifinal,
right?
And then and we just got boat raced in the championship. I just think there was too much. It was too emotional for us to have gone to win in that way.
Yeah.
It was the year TCU just got boat raced in the national championship game, and it was like, oh, that felt familiar. They had that big emotional win in the semifinal and couldn't drum it up. So even just like emotionally, outside of your physical preparedness, it's important emotionally to have that rest.
But you do see that often, right? Like you put so much effort into one game.
Yeah.
And you see even at professional level, like that next game, there's like this, I don't have any more to give, and there's almost this letdown just from an emotional standpoint. I think Argentina was maybe that, looking at the World Cup, I think that might have been Argentina's problem, where they put so much in the semis.
Well, they just kept escaping.
Yeah. And then at some point, it's like, you're just kind of like, we just have no more to give, and just I think that's what
the bill was due.
It is funny how in soccer, though, it's like you almost want to make the game emotionless, like you don't want to, because you don't want to expend that energy. You'd rather it being physical rather than all this emotional mental energy, and you just sort of want to keep this even keel throughout, but which is impossible. But
right. Well, and on the on the cusp of preseason here, we're trying to insert emotion. Simpson's one of those schools that we're not the University of Iowa for these Iowa kids or Iowa State, where they grow up by getting Christmas presents for Simpson. So we have to give them a reason to care. So I think that's really a big part of the preseason, is like, we got to make them care about this place. But then, as you go into it, playing September 1st, 4th, 6th, we got to be even keeled.
Forget the emotion part. Business. We got to just take care of business, right?
It's a fun pattern.
So, let me ask. That's an interesting observation that you make, especially in Iowa. Like, how do you? I'm just asking because I don't know. Like, how do you get kids charged up to be walking into Simpson and being like, this is my place? Aside from the gear, like, because everybody gets excited by gear.
People like gear. I don't know that there's a great answer to that. I think being authentic. Our staff is full of alums. I do think that's we get to speak really authentically about our experience, and that we want to continue to be back and do it here. I've had the privilege in this cycle of hiring 2 of my former players, so that's interesting. I'm in year 8, and on our staff now I'm going into year 9, and on our staff now will be 2 players that we recruited from high school, played here, and then wanted to return, and that's been cool for me personally. So I think that helps, but I don't know. I think you've got to just wait for something momentous for them to experience. If they want to continue playing college soccer and do it at a school that doesn't offer scholarships, then soccer has had to have meant something in their life at a different point. And so some of it's, we've just got to wait for those moments to happen here and then let them feel it. And hopefully we can play in some games that matter, that they or in silly game, can you get? That's why I think the golden goal matters. Why we needed it back in college sports, in college soccer.
Oh, totally.
Because it's the best moment of our sport. And just whether you win that in a non-conference game,
win or lose, I would argue, win or lose, win or lose.
You feel it. Exactly. You might be more motivated by the loss and the heartbreak. Did somebody step up as a leader and corral the group? those moments have real impact now.
Yeah.
And so some of it, I think we just have to let those things happen.
Yeah. I think too, like, again, because of all the noise and all the talk around Division I and stuff like that, I constantly go back to the fact that these kids are student athletes. And so, you know, that emotion and that attachment to the school also begins when people start moving in. Like because they're a week earlier. Campus starts to fill out, and then you start to feel this energy, and everyone's sort of collectively enthusiastic and excited about things, and there's different activities. And I think that's really important too, right? And it's not, I think that's really important.
Yeah, all that stuff, the homecoming and being a part of student activities.
They,
we've got a lot of girls that are pulled different directions, and at the right investment level, those things are important.
Yeah. So I got to ask you, because you said you hired some of your former players. Tell me, you're building out your own coaching tree. What's that all about? How's that feel?
Well, that's fun. So we also just had, and this is the first time I've had this, one of my assistant coaches just got a Division III head job.
Really? Where?
And Coach Francis Lee will take over at Cornell.
Wow. I am totally reaching out now. You know that, right?
Yeah, good. She'll be a much better interview than me. I'm so excited for her. There's nobody more passionate about what they do than she does. And she's coming off of a state championship with the local high school team.
Oh, wow.
I think they were the 7 seed going into the state tournament, and she got him over the line. And
that's awesome.
Swan song on the way out. Right?
Yeah, she becomes a hot coaching item now, right? Like, hey, get her.
Anyways, very, very excited about her. And then, and then Lex Ponce joined us as our full-time assistant. And then Ellie Street just graduated last year for us, was an all-region defender. She's going to teach second grade locally, and so she'll spend her evenings at Bill Buxton Stadium helping our team. Yeah.
Nice. That's pretty cool, though.
It's fun.
Like you have the ability to shape somebody. Countless kids that come through, and it's so cool when you're like, hey, whatever I did and whatever they experienced here, they've sort of grabbed onto and be like, hey, I want to do this going forward. Like, I think that's really cool.
I owe an apology to Coach Lex's parents, Mike and Amy, because she's from Vegas, and I think when we recruited her, it was like, hey, just 4 years, then she can go. She wants to work in sports. Vegas is a great place to work in sports. We kept her in Iowa.
Yeah, so. She's staying at Iowa. Okay, all right, that's funny. Yeah. That's pretty cool. What's your, knowing you lost folks and whatnot, like what's your recruiting class look like? You said something earlier about you graduated 20 goals, right? Like so it's interesting as we move in just a year in 1 year different. I think last year at this time we were trying to figure out how do we generate offense consistently. We move into this year and we return a player that scored 13 goals a year ago. Wow.
And was all region and one of the top in the conference, I believe. And then we had a transfer last year that we were playing out of position as a wing forward that will move to 10. But she was like 6 goals, 7 assists last year in her first year with us. So I think she'll take a jump. And so I think offensively we feel pretty good about the group. We know who it is.
Yeah.
And they've had some reps together all spring. And defensively, I think that's the group that we'll have to piece together a little bit.
Yeah.
And part of it is answering the ACL question for us. 2 of our top defenders will come in off ACLs. If they're ready to go,
no worries.
Then we'll have some real depth at those positions. And if not, then we'll rely on a smaller contingent of girls to carry the load while those girls get ready. But that's the question mark as we have as a staff is just, you're just not with them. we just don't know.
Yeah.
And until 10 days before game one, we get to start working with them, and we'll see where they're at on their recovery.
That's a good point, because I'm always amazed coaches, Division III, like the window that they don't get to look through from the end of the spring practice to is so wide, right? Like to August. You might be able to catch a game if they're playing somewhere, but you really have very limited visibility into them. And then you have this stretch where I have to understand as much as I can about each individual player over the next 10 days, because then we're off and running, right? I think that's really interesting.
Super helpful, I think, that we have a good sense of where the offensive group is. Because to me, it's we'll have to figure out, who comes in off the bench and who plays some roles, but we know that group. And so we don't have to spend a lot of time in the assessment period for that group. It's can we spend some time developing rhythm and timing and chemistry just to get them back together. But defensively, like, we're gonna have to spend some time in the assessment camp. Who's ready, who's fit, who's healthy, who plays well together, and then give them chances to play together. So we'll be spending a lot of time, I think, with those two groups kind of separate. So we can spend and then
you have to combine the two and then be like, okay, what do we have now once we see all this, right? Like
exactly.
What I hate to throw this, I don't want to ask you what worries you, but what excites you about your season, aside from the fact that 2 weeks from now you're going to be able to throw the balls out on the field and you're going to have it's going to be game time, right?
I think a couple things. We have 6 seniors that, and 3 of them were starters as freshmen when we lost in penalties in the conference title game. And I think that group realizes that this is it. And they were so close those first 2 years, and then and they're really motivated to get it done while they're here. I think they thought, when you're freshmen and you go that close, where our freshman goalkeeper saves 3 of 5 penalty takers, and we lose on the 6th shooter.
Oh my God!
You can't get closer than that, and I think it's hard to recognize that it's hard to get that close. And our seniors have just seen it, and so I sent out hey, here's your move-in day schedule. This is what's going to be. And within 10 minutes, I heard from 4 of our 6 seniors, and they wanted to schedule calls and talk about their goals for this season.
Oh, that's awesome.
And how they're doing this summer. It's like, I've had invested players before. This group is invested so personally and at an individual level differently, and that's really exciting. And then we spent a lot of time on our team culture this last spring that I'm really excited to see that pay dividends. Our younger girls had a hand in that too. And so I'm excited for us to be closer. I think we were a talented team last year, but I don't think we were a very close team. It's not in the way that great teams are.
Not in a bad way. It's just
nobody. There was no conflict, but it also just wasn't. Wow, we just love being together at all moments, and so the group really invested in themselves this last spring, and they're like, that's what we want. We want to be that. And so we got to remember to prioritize that and make it a focus when we get into preseason and welcome. We have 11 new incomers, and make that's a third of our team. Well, 33 and 11 are new, so we'll have to make them feel really welcome and explain what our standards are.
I'm going to use you as a guinea pig. I just thought of this question. I always notice with coaches, right? Like they sort of hone in on their craft, like any job, right? Like after a while, you get so good at it that it's almost like a road activity. This time I got to do this. This happens, I got to do this. What are you doing? Anything new? Like, have you thought? Like going into the season or you're like, hey, I got to change this up just to sort of stir it.
this last off season was a big chance for me to take a deep breath and go, I've been here 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things that, maybe I've just made work Simpson wise?
Yeah.
What are my real beliefs on what our program needs and what our players need to get better? And so we've tried to rethink everything, and keep what we like and toss what we don't. This would be a much different year for us, I think, from a coaching a preseason standpoint, in that we've got two players. If Pepper and Hoffa, if their chemistry is fantastic and they're on, Pepper's going to create 2 chances for us each half, and Hoffa's a goal scorer, and so we can figure the rest of things out if those two players are humming.
Yeah.
Right, and so I think from a this is not the preseason for us of survival of the fittest. It's we need to be healthy. We need to stay fresh. We need to enter our season in a way that our bodies are ready, and not we just beat them up, and see who can hang.
Yeah.
That's different than we've been in years past.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's me being softer or just that's who our team is this year.
But old softy.
We've got a couple. If we got a couple girls that I think can be all region, it doesn't serve us to have them hurt.
No.
Or not available.
Yeah.
And so, we want them to, pay their dues and earn it and have their teammates see that. But at the same time, if they can score twice a game collectively, then we can sort things out defensively and through the midfield, and it buys us some time. We're going to practice a little longer. That's one of the things we're changing. We've been going 90 minutes, and we share a turf facility with football and men's soccer. And that was part of our team last year. Is I just felt like I needed more time to teach. I wanted to slow my practice down. I don't want to do more things. I just want to teach a little more. We had exited the COVID 5th year thing where the girls knew.
Yeah.
They knew the process. They knew the pattern. They knew our style. They knew our system. And I didn't need to teach. But last year when we were new again, we needed more time. And so our practice length, I'm just asking more of them. To be available to us.
That's interesting to say. You can get a lot done in 90 minutes, right? Like that's whatever.
Yeah.
But sometimes there is a case to be made about. I always say this to the kids and to the other coaches that I work with. Sometimes it's good to slow the game down so that you can be very intentional about what you're trying to explain to them. It doesn't always have to be we have to experience practice and all this as a game and replicate. Like sometimes it is okay to slow it down just so that you can pick up things. I think people are can pick up things when it's slowed down at a pace that they can consume rather than if it's always breakneck speed, right? Like so. Anyway.
Right. Or and people learn differently, So the whiteboard session lands for some, the film lands for some,
and then others it glosses over. Yeah.
We need to we've got to put I needed to put my teacher hat on more last year than my time constraints allowed. And, I'd move towards 90 minutes and then, sometimes we go 75. The girls feel excited. And we go 90, you're like, oh, that's a full practice.
Yeah.
And we go 95. Now they think I've held them long.
Yeah.
Well, we could go 2 hours.
Yeah.
So 95 is getting out early.
Yeah.
And so it's just changing the reference of if I schedule 2 hours and we're done in 90, it's a win.
Yeah.
Versus just how we frame it contextually.
Well, I think that's what I mean, right? Like you have them for a limited amount of time. The question is, do you need the full amount of time, or can they capture what you're trying to convey within a shorter period of time? If that's the case, great. But if you have the luxury to sort of, hey, we're going to be a little bit more thoughtful and a little bit more patient, we can do because we have that time. I do have to ask you, did you watch the World Cup?
As much as I could. This was what a summer.
Yeah. I mean, for a soccer junkie. Yeah, totally.
Non-soccer fans.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah. It was an important summer. I think we're going to look back in 20 years and this is going to have been a pretty important summer of soccer for our country.
Yeah. What did you think of the soccer in general?
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe how many close games there were.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, and I've got a 5 and a 2-year-old. And so these games were happening at great times because we could watch them. But a lot of times the afternoon game would be wrapping up around 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so I'd start watching the game at 2 and think, okay, I'll watch, and then I'll go pick up kids. And if it's not, I'll just turn it off. And I made a lot of mac and cheese and pizza while games were headed into extra time. And it was like every day.
Yeah. That's funny.
It was unbelievable. Yeah. And it didn't matter the rankings. It's like we got small teams hanging in there and forcing. We just talked about Argentina every game.
Yeah.
Like they were just escaping.
Oh.
And I just want to cheer for Messi and Messi, but
yeah.
Because that's where my Argentina fandom is at this stage. But I didn't care who won totally, but I just want to keep seeing him play selfishly.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I will say I was supporting Spain the whole time through, so I was really happy about that. But I did want a World Cup for Messi, but I'm glad Spain won. So I'm not. Yeah. I don't feel bad for Messi. He's got his World Cup titles. So.
And that game was just like it was just a soccer game, right? Yeah. Like we've all been there, where it's they're just dominant and can't score, and all of a sudden Argentina at any moment could have.
Yeah. Oh, that's very true. It's remarkable. You could have said for 100 and some odd minutes they did nothing, and then all of a sudden they had two chances, I think 2 or 3 chances, and you're like, oh my God, they're going to score! Like how's that happening?
And that's our sport. The red card, on our for our team.
Yeah.
My strange takeaway was like, I hope a bunch of college and high school administrators are watching this and know that a red card doesn't mean you're just this total degenerate.
Yeah.
And we don't have to write all these apology papers. And it's like, okay, hopefully there were eyes on this that red cards don't mean, and suspensions don't mean the same as they do in other sports.
Yeah. He didn't open his mouth on that one. He did on the first yellow card, but that one was not a. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah, and I thought Flo handled it just like as good as he kept saying before it was rescinded. He's like, my job is to pay my dues and recognize I've got all these people watching, and I'm gonna show love and compassion, even though I think it's was wrong. And it's like, man, I wouldn't have handled it that well at 20 at that stage, at that age.
Yeah.
So I know that was cool.
What's your take on the U.S.?
I thought it was a great tournament. It's a bummer we all played bad on the same day. I don't. It's like I don't. Who cares? They beat us without De Bruyne, who could have come in and maybe been our best midfielder.
Yeah.
And so it's like we got beat in this like physical, athletic style of soccer, and it's like we Americans got beat in a battle of physical and effort and passion. It's like that's us. And so that was strange because it's like, oh well, we have one way to win. And maybe that's part of what we can grow from is like Belgium was unafraid to play that lineup and just outmuscle us in different ways. Maybe that's the gap. But I mean, if once they got to the semifinal, I hope as American fans we were like, we weren't this. We weren't close to this.
Oh, it was pretty clear. Even that Belgium game, right? Like I just think we got a long way to go. Like I don't know how else to say it. I've heard. I mean, I'm knee deep in all the opinions and all that kind of stuff, and I'm just kind of like, we just have a long way to go. Like I don't. And do we ever get there? I don't know. I just don't know.
Don't know either. And I don't want to take away from what was such a great tournament. That's why I hope we didn't lose all that momentum. But we just had so much momentum. As a country. And it's like, can we just exit and still feel it? I hope.
I'm sure. Like, look, you can't. I mean, it's funny. It's like the ultimate. The U.S. tournament. The U.S. was kind of like the. You experience if you followed from that first game against Paraguay. Just hey, I've never seen a game. I'm here to be a fan, right? Like you have experienced every gamut of emotion that a fan would experience, like from utter exhilaration and like, this is the greatest team ever, to we are terrible and everybody should be fired. And everything in between you experienced in those 4 games, which I thought was interesting. You know what I mean? Like, you went like, holy mackerel. But
I know. Yeah. And it wasn't many, it's not that many games.
no.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. I think there's other thing. Like, I do think it just highlights we have a lot of deficiencies, right? Like, and how do we make those deficiencies go away, or how do we make them better deficiencies or better for us? Like, I don't know the answer to that. I just think, I don't think people given it. The World Cup is friggin' hard. Like, whatever you like, it is hard. And so I just think
in the 4-year cycle, that's what makes it so special. Like, how many times do you get to be in your prime? Like, it's not often.
No,
once, maybe twice for almost every athlete.
For a human, but like Messi, I mean, that's a different story. But
yep.
Hey, I'll ask you one last question.
Okay.
And I'll let you get on with your day and preparations and get my locker all set with all my gear so that when I show up, it's all ready to go for me.
Yeah, our goalkeeper gloves just came in, so
yes.
we're ready for you.
Yes. I don't know if I could catch a ball anymore, but that's okay. I've been asking this question for a while, and I just find it really interesting, people's take on it. And it could be anything soccer related. What are we not talking about that we should be?
Yeah. Well, as Division I sports have moved this 5-for-5 model, we've been around recruiting events in different places, and it seems like D2 is going to adopt it. NAIA will move like this. Yeah. JUCOs are celebrating in the streets. And I don't know what that means for D3.
Uh-huh.
And I haven't heard any discussion on it. Yeah. And I think D3 philosophically has got a choice on who do we want to be. And like a year and a half ago, I feel like there was this rule change on how do we handle red shirts, and do we adopt it? And D3 kind of planted their flag that we're the 4-year education. That's our model. Yeah. This changes things. Yeah, it totally changes things. And I don't really know how I feel. I don't know what my opinion is. From being the Simpson coach, I don't know that a 5th year, it doesn't help us competitively, where we have like 1 or 2 master's options.
Yeah.
So, other schools around the country would really benefit.
Yeah.
But we're all gonna be disadvantaged in the recruiting landscape.
Yeah.
I don't know what D3's move is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've heard any conversation on it or not, but I've heard none.
Yeah. It's interesting. You're the first person, everybody I asked, you're the first person who brought that up, and
it's new.
Yeah. But I also think, to your point, I do think Division III has kind of said, like, look, this is our model. This is what we're sticking to. There's all this noise everywhere around. What does a 5-and-5 do, and all that kind. But Division III has sort of been a stalwart, right? And most coaches, I think, especially at the non-graduate school Division III schools, have been pretty we're doing our, I don't want to say the same, we're going after the high school kids who are looking for a place, and we're trying to bring them in. I think my gut is that division will stay the same because of that very reason. Like, what do you do with it? There's very few avenues. The handful of schools that have graduate programs, they could make the case, but I think the large majority of the small schools don't have that option, right?
Well, I think cost is a factor too, right? Yeah. If these, for the most part, I think affordability, like we're pretty comparable.
Yeah.
Through the 4-year degree.
Yeah.
But when you go to year 5 and
you just blow it out of the water.
We're not set up
set up to do that. Not at all.
And I don't know. It's interesting. If you're coaching at Division I level right now, with as active as the transfer portal is, Division I to Division I,
Yeah.
and then knowing you could take a JUCO kid and still get 3 years from them, their desire to recruit an 18-year-old, I have to imagine it's going to decrease.
Yeah.
And
by
so
necessity,
that's why I think JUCOs are really going to win.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't know the marketplace for recruits of if they're between us and a Division II, and the option is play 5 years at the Division II and 4 years at Simpson.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe more on the men's side, they want to play the 5 years. It feels like girls more often come in a little bit more focused academically on what degrees they want to pursue.
Their fifth year ends up being graduate school, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. We've got a girl at Drake right now. I'm trying to convince into using. Now she has 2 years of eligibility, a torn ACL, and the second one, she's there at Drake getting a master's that I think could play.
Yeah.
And she went from, I could do this just because I have my medical redshirt year.
Right.
And now it's like, Briss, you might have 2 years. That's a half a career left.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's a lot of
soccer. Yeah, and a lot
of
soccer.
It is if you want to do that.
Yeah.
So there's maybe that's something that we have. We have our best players graduate and pursue master's degrees and are one and done at some of these other schools. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to shake out. I do think, especially at Division I, the appeal for a coach, unless they have a philosophical reason for it, or their school has a reason for it, like the inclination to go try to recruit a 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid out of high school to come and play has gone from 100% before the transfer portal, then the transfer portal happens and it drops down to 75, maybe 50-ish when it starts to get really heated up and COVID and all that stuff, to now it's down. Like there's no need. You could get by on a program. I am only concentrating on the portal.
Yes.
I'm only concentrating on and JUCOs.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. I don't have to go I don't have to go to high schools. I don't have to go to ECN, all that stuff. None of it. And I think, which would be terrible. Again, different views on the game. Terrifying, terrible. So.
Yeah, it's tricky for these high school coaches and club coaches to navigate. I don't know. I'm in the recruiting space. Yeah. And I don't know what advice to give to these high schoolers.
Yeah.
They're going to have these players on their rosters that have been Division I their whole coaching career that there's just not spots for.
Yeah. And I've seen I have seen a lot of now too decommits, or not decommits, but
offer
pulled and all that stuff, and I just sort of sit there and be like, I hate to say it, we've opened Pandora's box, and I'm not sure we can close it back up again in a way that somebody doesn't get run over by it. I just think that's just how it's going to pan out, unfortunately. And sadly, I think I think
we're losing something here.
I think we're losing the plot. I'd be honest with you. Especially in soccer, I think we lose the plot so much, and youth soccer all the way on through. I think we're missing the point for. We're so focused on 2% of the population of soccer players that we're forgetting about the experience of the 98% that might not. Mm-hmm. Right, I can forget it. Before I get on the soapbox, let me get off of it. Yeah. Hey, Coach, this was great, fantastic. I do appreciate you taking the time. I wish you, your team, all the success. I will be watching, and I will try to stir the pot between you and Coach Kobe. By the end of the season, I'll start to drop some bombs.
We really do get along. I think there's going to be a lot at stake on October 27th. I really do. So who knows? It's going to be fun.
Yeah. So anyhow, but thank you very much, and wish you all the best, and enjoy whatever time you have left before it all kicks off.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
having me.